Far and Away Mobile Pet Grooming provides professional grooming services right outside your home. Their state-of-the-art mobile grooming salon won't disturb your neighbors with loud noises or smelly fumes, providing a less stressful grooming experience with no more contact with other pets and their germs. With nearly 50 years combined professional grooming experience, Village's residents Eric and Sharon McFarland bring their expertise and full line of competitively priced services to your home. Big dogs or small, they do them all. I trust them with my Sully and Lily, and you can trust them with yours. Far and Away, they're the best mobile groomer in the Villages. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. I'm your host, Don Wiley, and each week we talk about the things you want to talk about. Today's episode, as you saw, was sponsored by Fur and Away, mobile grooming service. Eric does a great job. The dogs you saw in there were my Sully and Lily, and that was Sully going crazy after he got out of the van. We also have, for sponsors this week, Surf to Turf Home Inspections. Tom does a great job. If you're buying a house, and as soon as you close, get it inspected. If you're buying a resale, have him inspect it before you close. And then, of course, with the new ones, at about the 11-month window, you also want to get it inspected just to make sure everything is good before the 1-year home warranty period runs out. Country Village Power Equipment and Golf Carts, great people there. Talk to Nate, he's the manager. He'll hook you up with a good deal. If you see me, and I normally carry with me $100 off coupons for Country Village. They will beat just about everybody's price. Kitchen-wise, closet-wise, I can't say enough good about the stuff that Scott does. The wife loves it, gentlemen. That's all you need to know. The wives are going to love it. Magic Stairs, of course. A great sponsor. They've been with me for a very long time. Great product. Getting up in the attic is no longer terrifying. And a new sponsor, of course, they joined us last week for the first time, is Shade Masters. If you've got a need for shades, whether it's plantation shutters, the blinds, the vertical blinds, horizontal blinds, roll-up blinds for the garage door or for the lanai, they're definitely a choice to go to. All right, so what do we got here? Caveman says, nice job on 157. Yeah, 157 came out the other day. It's been a challenging week. The gentleman who I have helping me every week, Adam, he's up in Michigan with some event for work that he does, which means I was out in the sun a tremendous amount this week. I've been beat to death from that sun, getting my houses done. Let's see. The comics bring me vacation to the Villages. Sunflower, love them. Oh, yeah. You see the comics, and it's like every morning I read the paper, and I try and remember to grab a few of them. Some of them are good, some of them are okay. The Lockhorns, Mallard Fillmore, 2 favorites. Jim O says, hi Don, hey Jim, good to hear from you again. And bring me back, not vacation, okay. Hello to all. All right, so questions, anything for me this week? Got a few things on my show list. Nothing much to talk about, really, unless you guys have something. One of the great things is Monday I went down and ordered my new truck. Again. Yeah, the whole thing has been just crazy. I ordered it back in February. It came in. They sold it to somebody else. They reordered it. It came in. It was the wrong truck. They said, well, order it again and we'll let you keep this one. And nope. Couldn't get a 2025. So I ordered a 2026. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a medium shade of blue. Matthew wants to know, who would you recommend for gutters on a new house in the Villages? So I've used Hills Seamless Gutter, Hills Seamless Gutters. They did a great job on my house. My next door neighbor Dave folks on the other side. My friend Jim, he turned me on to them. They did great work, very reasonably priced. All right. I hear there's a new variant of COVID virus called Nimbus. Okay, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a joke or because I'm thinking Nimbus 2000 from the Harry Potter movies. Megan wants to know, do you have any videos of the Lakeview neighborhood posted? The entry is still blocked off. Yeah, that entry is going to be blocked off until they get closer on the hotel, because well, if you watch 157 where I flew by the hotel, you can see that whole area back there is just covered with construction equipment. I've shot a few times. It's pretty much waiting for build out. When that's going to happen, probably a couple of months down the road. They'll start their building. Let's see. But I'm probably going to shoot some video of it next week, just to include in 158, because it has been a while since I did anything with it. Did you close on your villa? No, we close the 2nd of July. But everything's been going well. You know, we're excited, obviously. Let's see. Rich wants to know, I know it was asked a week or so ago, any idea what's happening on Laurel Oaks Golf Course? No, I don't. You know, there's been speculation of a sinkhole, but there's no evidence of a sinkhole. You know, they're in key spots around the southernmost pond, and those are right near the bubbler system. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm trying to reach out to some folks that I know, but you know, they don't know. So maybe this week I'll just go by and go out on the golf course and talk to the guys working there and ask them what's going on. Sometimes that's the best answer. That's what, you know, I did with the tunnel underneath the turnpike for the golf carts. Yeah. Anyway, long time on that. Let's see. Mark says, do you know if the target on 466A will be a super target with full grocery or regular target, limited grocery and general merchandise? I don't know. I do not know. It's a pretty good sized store. You know, I know that they're working on the interior right now, and they have a significant loading dock. So we're going to have to see. I mean, there's been really no announcements on it. Let's congratulate President Trump on a successful mission in Iran. Yeah, I saw that this morning. And I mean, that's not a move he made very easily or without a lot of thought and counsel from his military advisors. You know, he's always made it clear he doesn't want to put our armed services in harm's way. And as somebody who served in the military, I get it. Yeah, and it's appreciated. All right, so let's see. Any update on the grocery stores in Middleton and Eastport yet? No updates, but I was looking at the village's map. Let's pull up the web browser. So I'm gonna go to the villages. I gotta find the right one. Yeah. Now that's the houses, but we're going to zoom in just a little bit. And you see this big splotch right here? That's where grocery store is going. When, I don't know. I mean, obviously right now it looks like they've got it staged for construction on Olympia and the sales office and all the retail establishments. You know, I didn't look this morning at Middleton. Let's see what's over in Middleton. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, no progress here on Middleton. Now, these 4 buildings are under construction. Those are just general retail buildings. But right in here is where it appears a grocery store is going. And back here, they're working on the Middleton Hotel. So, let's see. Megan says, do you know if the dimensions of the lots on LaGrange Loop have been posted yet? I know you sometimes use the district website. The district website's not going to really give you any information. The website I use frequently is the Southwest Florida Water Management District. There is, I'm trying to think what I saw on there. I don't remember seeing the units listed yet. They normally have to post those right before they, or get approval for the actual construction, shortly before they start work. And if you look through those plans, you can sometimes see dimensions. Do me a favor, Megan, send me an email. Remind me, I'll do some digging and figure out what's going on. And I'll send you what I can. Trina says, congratulations on your new truck. Yeah, congratulations when it gets here. I'm not holding my breath right now. I'm telling you what, a Chevy or a Dodge might not be, what you call it, a bad idea if they keep screwing this up. But the dealership, I've been going to Gary Yeoman's Ford. They have been very helpful, very cooperative, and so they're trying. They really are trying. Let's see. Muskie says, they take or not in my backyard, I think. They take or not. Muskie, I don't know what you're saying there, sweetheart. Let's see. Sharon says, hi, Don. Hate to beat a dead horse. Any news on the new traffic pattern for the new Walmart yet? Every time you drive there, we just don't know how they're going to make it work efficiently. I don't expect to see that information for another 2 months at least. I was actually talking with the county administrator on it last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. I did see them out doing traffic counts. They do know how to do traffic counts and adjust for the seasonal traffic patterns. We saw that on the assessment or survey, whatever you want to call it, that they did for the Chitty Chatty area. And they made adjustments for seasonal traffic. Same thing with County Road 102 and 104. There was adjustments in there for seasonal traffic changes. Let's see. Megan says, building a brand new large model that will need a minimum 72-foot wide lot and hoping there is some on that street. You know, from what I remember seeing in the air, they do look like they have quite a few large lots there, so we should be good. So Matthew says, is it true that metal roofs will be allowed on homes in the villages? No, it's not true. It's being discussed, but it has not been, approved. It's not been, nobody's ARC manual has been changed yet. It's still in discussion. One of the things that with the metal roofs, when this whole thing came up, I went and looked, and I did some checking on prices and all that. It's actually, from what I found, as expensive, if not more, than a regular shingled roof. This whole thing with the roofs is just, it's a crock. Okay, they put roofs up with 20 or 30 year shingles, and the insurance companies are saying, well, we're not going to cover it if it's if it's greater than 10 years old, or something like that, or 10 or 15 years old. What a crock. It needs to be based on the actual condition. But an insurance company's job is to mitigate risk and make money for their stockholders. That's the bottom line. And sometimes they have to pay out to their customers. All right. Eb wants to know, how do you find things on SwiftMod? I went there to their site and couldn't find any project information. So you want to go to their permit search website. Once you go to the permit search website, you got to give it a date. Be sure you select either Sumter or Lake County, because if you don't select a location, you're going to get all of the Southwest Florida Water Management District, and that's Polk County and all the other counties. So you got to be careful with the search patterns and how long you put for a time frame, because there are dozens and dozens of them. I can show you that if we get a little time today. I'll bring it up on the on the computer, on the web browser, and we'll see how to do it. Let's see. Linda H says, can the villages open the rec centers during a hurricane? Are Middleton schools a hurricane center? So the answer to the first one is no. Okay, they are not built as shelters. They are not hardened. They do not have the facilities. Imagine having 100 people in one of the rec centers, and you've got just the 2 small bathrooms that are typically there. So the rec centers are not designed to be, hurricane shelters. The Middleton school, I'm trying to remember, because we talk about this frequently at the county level about our hurricane shelters. The fairgrounds, some of the schools, and the building over on Powell Road. Powell Road in I'll get it out. Millennial Park, the big hexagon or octagon building. Those are shelters, and they're built and designed to be shelters. Honestly, the reason you'd want to go to a shelter is for high water. Okay, the homes in the villages have been built to the latest hurricane standards. I only know of one house that was destroyed, and it was not directly, it was indirectly by the hurricane. That was a friend of mine, Linda, her sister. I can't remember her name, but her house had a tree fall on it from outside of the villages into the villages. They live on the border where there's another golf course, and she was blessed. I mean, it came through the roof into her bedroom, landed on the bed right next to her. Not a good thing, but everything else, the people throughout Sumter County that end up going to the shelter are due to high water. There are, like down in Krumakuchi and Lake Pan, there are some areas where, Lake Panisofsky, sorry, that have high water, and that's a concern. But generally, you're fine sheltering in place. Metal roofs last much longer, as well as stand up better to winds. Yeah, I would probably say so. They have some that look like shingles also, but Um, you know, how long they last, I don't know. You know, obviously, you know, things to consider. If it gets scratched, okay, if it gets scratched down to the bare metal, if it's steel or iron based, you know, you're going to have a problem with corrosion. So, uh, honestly, when these hurricanes come through, they're going to take what they're going to take. The Nimbus remark made by someone not in my backyard. Yeah. Okay. What was that comment? I got to go look. Where is the new? Oh, okay. All right. What county is below Eastport? What county is Eastport and surrounding areas where they are building? So right now, everything is being built in Sumter County. Eastport's in Sumter County. You know, all of the villages, with the exception of what used to be called Secret Promise. So if you see the new fire station 49, okay, when you go east of 49, that's Lake County, okay. That's, you know, a couple of thousand homes that they'll build there in a couple of years, but everything else is still Sumter County. All right, let's see. All right, it's coming up on your screen. NB181 variant, nicknamed Nimbus. Doc talking about it when it was when I was there for a tetanus vaccine. I see why Nimbus now. I got it. That's cute. All right. Whew. Oh, man. My brain has to run 100 miles an hour doing this. All right. So, you know, I've talked a couple of times about the cost of amenities and people saying, wow, they've gone up too much, blah, blah. So there was a very good letter written by a lady, used to live in the villages, and for her and her husband had health issues, and the cost of living in the villages was too great. They decided to move back up north, sold their house. I think she did the right decision. There's no doubt in my mind she did the right decision. You have to pick and choose what's important, okay? And while this lifestyle is wonderful, it does come at a price. You can live other places cheaper. Well, but then again, you're not going to get the same level of amenities or activities to do. There were some rather ugly comments made to her. I thought her letter was really great because she said, you know, we used to live there, we don't anymore. My husband got sick, I got sick. We moved to be closer to the family, to the kids. My husband passed away. Yes, it was an issue, and she felt she made the right decision. And good, you know, yeah, that was a wise choice. Okay, nobody knows what your financial situation is going to be a year from now, 5 years from now. You know, certainly, I don't know mine. You know, a year ago, things were a lot different in my book. But anyway, let's see. Muskie says, our homes are built to withstand 140-mile winds, and we get 60 to 70 max. We are safest in our homes. The developer built the community to make our homes virtually flood-proof too. So, good comment. Some of the older parts of the community, they weren't built to the same standards. Okay, when you get up to the what is it, 27441, the historic site, that's what it's called. when you get up to the historic side, they weren't built to the 100-year flood standards. Okay, they were built to a lower, I'm going to say, I'll use the term lower standard, not as high a demand standard. Okay, I think they were built for a 25 or 50-year flood zone. And what that means is the chances of, of a flood in the area is going to happen once every 25 years, 50 or 100 years. But when they happen, they're obviously bigger. When Irma came through, that was considered about a 150-year storm. It was a significant storm. The villages has taken great pains to ensure that we have a great stormwater collection system. You see them, people say, oh, they're running the sprinklers when it's raining out. Yeah, they are. Because the asphalt and the concrete don't absorb water. They don't allow it to percolate into the ground. The golf courses are designed to percolate lots of water, to let it get back into the water table to disperse it. And we have these great holding basins called retention ponds. They have pumping systems to move water around. It's a great engineering feat that they have done. We're designed to take it up. I mean, when Irma hit, again, the area is built to withstand a 100-year storm. They considered Irma a 150-year storm, and we still had capacity in almost all of the ponds. The only place I saw where it really backed up was Dunedin. Yeah, I think it was Dunedin. Dunedin or Lake Denham. But it backed up to the Evans Prairie. In Florida, that means swamp. But it backed up to Evans Prairie, and Evans Prairie is a natural wetlands, and it filled and it filled and it filled, and it backed into some of the streets. Okay, that's a lot of water when it starts backing into the streets. But it didn't get in anybody's home. So yeah, I think it's good. Let's see. William says, I lost my architectural single roof in a Hurricane Irma in the Keys. In the Keys. Hey, I can understand that. I do not see any damage on the metal roofs. Metal roofs are now mandatory in the Florida Keys. Okay. Yep. Again, we are not in the Keys. We're inland, and we don't get the same level of impact from the storm. And yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see where metal roofs they have some advantages. And will they be allowed? I think they will. I mean, I think that there's enough pressure being put concerning the roofing that metal roofs will be allowed. They'll probably go with the ones that look like shingles, just for consistency through the neighborhood. But if you look on a lot of the commercial buildings and the rec centers, they have metal roofs. Okay, so I mean, the developer's not ignorant of the subject. It's just a different installation technique. So yeah. We shall see. That's definitely something that's going to be under the microscope. Victoria says, are the taxes going to be higher in Lake County versus Sumter County? Yes, they are. Taxes are higher in Lake County. It's just, Lake County is a completely different entity and has different funding needs and requirements. They are roughly, 2.5 times the population of Sumter County. And we have 5 cities in Sumter County, and I think they have 19 cities in Lake County. So it's a different beast. I get involved a lot with discussions about the roads in Lake County because I'm on the Lake Sumter MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization. That's the organization that deals with the long-term planning of roads and trying to get funding for them. and Lake County has a lot of needs because of their growth. Their growth is as much as ours, um, if not more. But they have a lot more different requirements because of things that are going on there. But yeah, their taxes are higher. Leesburg taxes are higher than Wildwood, if I'm not mistaken. They also have some additional fees and assessments. I believe they have a, what do they call it? They have a fee on their tax bill, if I understood right, for hospitals, okay, to help fund the hospitals. And I believe it's for indigent care. We don't have that in Sumter County. But there are many things that are added onto your tax bill. You know, that you're going to have a county tax, you're going to have a city tax. Just like in the new areas, you have Sumter County tax and you have Wildwood City tax. In the new areas of Lake County, you're going to have Leesburg taxes and Lake County taxes. Okay. Steve says it was an excellent decision for them, to each his own. Okay, I agree. By the way, the sun treated you well this week. The tan looks good. Thank you. Yeah, I was out in the sun a lot. It really was. So Larry says, hi, just joined the stream, hoping to land a lot tomorrow morning at Edenfield. I hear it's like going to a Taylor Swift tickets. Fingers crossed. You know, yeah, let's pull that up. Let me see. There it is. I'm going to switch over to the web browser. So this is Unit 162. It's on the, I'll call it the back nine of the Woodlands Championship course. Let me zoom back out so you get a little better view or perspective on where it is. Okay, so right up here, this is the newly opened San Tropez Recreation Center. South of it is 162. There's 133 lots coming on the market tomorrow morning. Interior lots are starting at about $5,000. There's a few in the $15,000, $20,000, and $30,000 range that are bigger. That'll carry a little larger lot premium. Most of the peripheral lots, the view lots, if you will, they're in the 200,000 range. This one right here on the corner. Let me zoom in. There we go. That's better. So this one right here on the corner was $299. The rest of them, you know, they're in the 200, 220 range. So yeah, it should be exciting tomorrow. If you're vying for a house, I hope you get it, or a lot. I hope you get it. You know, it's very competitive. Everybody wants in. That's why they've gone to this random pick system with the computer picking it. It's about as fair as you can get, in my opinion, what they're doing. Let's see. All right. Any more questions about this? Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. So I got three or four phone calls the past week from folks looking to buy in this area. And they asked me my opinion. And they asked, one of the big things they asked about was this right here, running down the center, called the Turnpike and noise. And, you know, I don't think you're going to have any problems here because you got a big buffer of, try that again, a big buffer of homes along here and along here to reduce the noise. But you're still going to hear the Turnpike a little bit here. When you start getting over here, you're going to hear it a lot more. Just like the folks down here in Newell and Lake Denham along the Turnpike, it's loud. It's, you know, more than I would want to put up with. But I will tell you this, you can hear the Turnpike noise depending on the time of day quite a ways. Let me give you an example. I'll go back up here to where my old house is. I gotta find it. Oh, Yep. All right. So my house was here. And you can see how far away it was from the turnpike. It was a couple of miles. I would sit on the front porch in the morning and read my newspaper, give my dogs treats, because every time I change sections of the newspaper, they expect a treat, but they're spoiled. But I would hear the traffic from the turnpike at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, you're going to hear it. It's just the nature of the beast. It's a noisy road. Let's go back to here. Zoom back in. All right, let's go back to our questions now. Boom. All right. Let's see. All right. Who should residents contact to voice their support for metal roofs as an option? Your district supervisors. In each of your CDDs that you live in, you have 5 district supervisors. Voice your opinion to all of them. Let them know that you're in support of it. They will listen. They should listen. They're residents just like you. They're going through the same thing. Becky says, hi, I'm late. I moderate another stream. Okay. Larry says they don't have lots big enough for the biggest premieres. The $2.99 is one to the right of the one you're pointed out. Is it? Okay. I knew it was one of those two. I got the sheet. A friend of mine sent it to me. I didn't study it in great length, just looking at prices and general areas. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the biggest premieres, when you're talking things like the Kings Bay, which is, oh my gosh, it's almost 4,000 square feet, the Kings Bay. The Grand View, the St. John's. These are some big houses. They're very wide houses. For those, you need a very special lot, which is what the Enclave was about, allowing those types of houses to be built. What I have seen, in my opinion, is they have upsized a few of the designer home models, upgraded them a bit, and now they call them premieres. Whereas before, the premieres were all, like 2,500 square feet and above. I think a Grand View is right at 3,000 square feet. Yeah, so you're right. Ryan says, any word on what they are going to do with the wooded lot across from DeLuna entrance on 301? I heard it get. I also heard they are getting rid of the light at 301 Marsh Bend and putting in a roundabout. Is this true? So the lot across from DeLuna on the entrance to 301, I know that there is what they call a mini hospital or a micro hospital going in that area. I don't remember the exact lot, and then there's also a small housing development going in back there in the same general area. But those are still down the road. As far as 301 Marsh Bend, putting in a traffic circle, that is correct. They are putting in, the plan currently is to put a traffic circle in there. The planning is in the final stages. They're acquiring right-of-way to start work very soon on US 301's widening to 4 lanes. I've received more than my share, I think, of email on this particular topic, people against it, saying it's unsafe. We have traffic engineers that this is what their job is. This is how their profession, they know what they're doing. Traffic circles are inherently safer, and they move traffic better than a traffic light. Okay. Yes, you hear about fender benders when they happen in a traffic circle. Why? Because they're unusual, and inevitably it's somebody doing 90 miles an hour and tries to blow through the center of it, and they go flying. Okay, that's great. But you don't hear about all the accidents at intersections. They happen all the time. So I think that I think the state is making the right choice. All right, so I lost some shingles on my roof here in the Villages from Helene. Okay, that happens. Um, um, you know, we had a few folks in my old neighborhood that lost a few shingles. There were folks down in Moultrie Creek and Shady Brook. I had to think of what this village is called. That lost a lot of shingles also, and these were brand new houses. So it just depends on the wind. Victoria, thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate it. You're coming down in a few weeks. Good. Give me a call. We'll meet up for lunch again. Victoria says, are there lot premiums on verandas? Yes, there are. Okay. But they're incorporated into the price. So I'm trying to remember what the lot premium was on the house we bought in Moultrie Creek. I think it was right at $100,000 was the lot premium. My courtyard villa that I bought 11 years ago had a $51,000 lot premium for a courtyard villa. And that's not, I didn't have a view. I had a corner lot. It was huge. The corner, it's actually a bigger lot by 1,500 square feet than my veranda home sits on. That's how big it is. But there is a premium that's calculated in. I've seen other ones that are $150,000 and $200,000 for lot premiums. Just depends on the lot. Okay. Let's see. Ian says, "Hi Don, I live in a veranda with a half wall made of concrete behind the house. The yard guys have chipped the paint with their weed whacker. Who do I call to get the paint color?" Call the home warranty department. Okay. Tell them your unit and lot number, and they can give you tons of information, and they'll give you the paint color also. Let's see. Eb says, I don't hear traffic from the turnpike on Osceola Hills on the outside, but do hear it from 44. Yeah, I mean, 44's got traffic too. At first, when I heard the traffic noise, I used to think it was coming from 44. But one morning I thought that. I jumped in the golf cart, I ran down to Brownwood, and I'm watching the traffic on 44, and there was nothing. But I could still hear the traffic noise. So I knew it was coming from the turnpike. Jimmo says, "Don, is the traffic study at the new Walmart done yet?" No, it's not done yet. They're still collecting data. Let's see. Larry says, "I meant to reach out to say hello when we were down in June 4 through 10. We rented Moultrie Creek at St. James or James Gray Street, but we did have lunch with Jerry and Linda." Yeah, hey, if you guys come down and you want to meet up, I'll be more than happy to meet with just about anybody. Good question there, Caveman. No, you cannot do any upgrades to a veranda during its build. Now, after it's built, if you have the room on your lot, you can enlarge, okay? And, people put pools in. We've got, what, five or six neighbors that have put pools in Moultrie Creek Verandas North. Wow. Let me think. If you have the space on your lot, you can lengthen your garage, you can widen it. It just depends. But that's all done afterwards. All right. What do we say? We take a very short break, and I'll be right back. Fern Away Mobile Pet Grooming provides professional grooming services right outside your home. Their state-of-the-art mobile grooming salon won't disturb your neighbors with loud noises or smelly fumes, providing a less stressful grooming experience with no more contact with other pets and their germs. With nearly 50 years combined professional grooming experience, Village's residents Eric and Sharon McFarland bring their expertise and full line of competitively priced services to your home. Big dogs or small, they do them all. I trust them with my Sully and Lily, and you can trust them with yours. Fern Away, they're the best mobile groomer in the Villages. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to stretch my back. I've been having back problems lately, and it hurts to sit for long periods of time. It hurts to stand for long periods of time. It hurts to do anything for a long period of time. I think they call it old age, and this is for the birds. I'm telling you what. I mean, you work all your life trying to get to retirement, and then old age comes in and kicks you in the behind. So, what do you guys think about Costco? They're talking August 6th is what the sign says down at the Costco in, hello, Lily. Can you come up here? No? I got my Lily next to me. Costco down in, I don't know, down the turnpike, south of here. I can never remember. Anyway, so 8/6 is when it's scheduled to open. Lots of progress happening down there. Let's see. Megan says, I noticed you have a golden retriever. Actually, I have 2 golden retrievers, Lily and Sully. Are you part of the Golden Retriever Club? No, I'm not. Unfortunately, their meeting dates conflict with some other activities that I have to do. I think I've made one of their meetings in the years I've been here. It's unfortunate. I'd like to get more involved because goodness knows I love my pups. They mean a whole lot to me. What are your thoughts, insights on the improvements in Spanish Spring Square? You know, the developer is trying to revitalize that commercial area. It's in their best interest. You know, they have lots of tenants there. They're trying to keep it fresh and keep it vibrant, trying to encourage people to come back in. All right, let's speak frankly about what's going on in that area. The population in the northern part of the villages is, for lack of a better term, significantly older than in the southern part. And, you know, when you go out to eat and it's, you know, $13, $14 for a burger and fries, okay? If you remember 10, 15 years ago, that's crazy, okay? But that's the world we live in today. That's what prices are. And unfortunately, some of the older population either can't afford it or are unwilling to pay those kind of prices, which is unfortunately what the merchants have to charge to remain profitable. That's caused a decrease in business up there. You know, I'm not going to pay $15 for a hamburger. That's crazy. Okay, well, that's just what the market is. You know, yeah. Trust me, I didn't think I'd pay what I'm paying for this new truck, ever. You know, that would have been a Ferrari. You know, the last time I really looked seriously at car prices. But holy mackerel, man, this truck's expensive. But anyway, you know, the reality is they've seen a downturn in the business, mainly because the population is getting older. They don't go out much. They may not have the disposable income, and they're suffering from sticker shock on the prices. So they got to try and find ways to bring people back in, and that's just the reality of it. Getting old ain't for sissies. Yeah, okay, thanks. Let's see. For the house rental we used, rent from a villager that we learned from your channel. Worked great, thanks. yeah, so Karen is the owner of Rent from a Villager, and you see her ad popping up. I was actually on the phone with Karen this morning talking. Not only is she one of my sponsors, but we're friends. We have been for several years. They've been a sponsor for a long time. Oh, there's her ad right there. Just like Magic Stairs and Joey from 24 Hour Cart Club. By the way, if you guys contact one of my vendors or one of my sponsors, please tell them that you heard about it or you saw it on my channel, the YouTube broadcast, you saw their ad. That way they know that their advertising dollars are being productive. You know, I don't want to lose an advertiser because I think, well, they're not getting any business when nobody mentions it. And so please, when you do use them, whether it's Nova, Surf to Turf, Shade Masters, Magic Stairs, whoever, let them know that you heard about it and saw it on, Gold Wingnut. So Mushki says, if I read correctly, I think U.S. submarines took part in last night's success. Do submarine launch ballistic missiles? So submarines, there are 3 different classes that can launch Tomahawk cruise missiles. There are the first 4 Ohio class submarines. They used to be called SSBNs, the ballistic missile submarines. The first 4, the Florida, the Georgia, the Michigan, and Ohio, were converted to SSGNs. 20 of the missile tubes have 7 Tomahawk cruise missiles in each of them. So that's 140 cruise missiles. There is the Third Flight Los Angeles class submarines. I was on the USS Topeka. We had 12 vertical launch tubes. We could launch 12 Tomahawk cruise missiles from it, as well as out of the horizontal torpedo tubes. We could also launch them. And then the Virginia class also has the vertical launch tubes. The Virginia class is the new class of attack submarines. All formidable, stealthy weapons. During Desert Storm, I believe it was the Pittsburgh, was one of the first submarines to ever launch a Tomahawk cruise missile in a combat action. And they're a very formidable weapon. And if you have, let me put it this way, if you have an SSGN parked off your coast, so one of the old Ohio class submarines, not only do you have to worry about the 140 cruise missiles it's carrying, you also have to worry about the 2 platoons of Navy SEALs that they're carrying, because they have the ability to launch and retrieve, Navy SEALs. If you really want to learn some good stuff, and it's very well written, Rick Campbell he's a retired Navy captain. Used to be on submarines. He's an author now. He wrote a series of books that start with the Trident Deception. Great novel. Really accurate, really well written. Okay. Let's see. Muskie says, that terrible, massive motorhome garage that was added to the house next to the Water Lily Rec Center, huge blocks, the son of homes next to it. I don't know. I don't know how that one got through, but it wasn't approved by the ARC. It was approved by the developer. They have a little more latitude. They can approve what they want. Let's see. I just saw someone in the Villages post a video on Facebook of an all-gated swimming in their pool. Of an alligator swimming in their pool. The pool is in a bird cage. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. That those screens are very thin. They'll go right through it. Looking forward to Costco. It might end up being a quicker drive to Claremont for us in the south, but easier drive north to the new location. So yeah, Claremont. That's the name of the town I couldn't think of earlier. Claremont. I mean, I was down in that area 15, 16 years ago working on the turnpike. And it wasn't nearly as crowded. And it was still a nightmare getting off at that State Road 50 interchange. And it's only gotten bigger and the road's gotten wider and a lot more traffic. You know, if you're coming from the south end, it's pretty much a wash in which way you go. It really is. The only thing I would say is if you get stuck in traffic on the turnpike, you can be there a long time. Over the years of living here, in my efforts to capture the growth of what's happening in my videos, I have passed over the turnpike many, many times and seen it backed up from I-75 into Lake County, okay, which is where 470 crosses. And I've seen it backed up from where the Leesburg Toll Plaza used to be, which is just south of where 27 crosses under the turnpike. And I've seen it backed up onto I-75 from there. So when a traffic jam happens, it happens. You're less likely, I think, to get into a traffic jam going to the new one. Just a thought. And old people don't tip well, so service people don't want to work in the villages. I'm going to take exception to that because the people that I go out to dinner with, they generally tip well for good service. I will say that most that I know, including myself, expect good service and will gladly pay for good service. But when they get lousy service, then yeah, we become lousy tippers. I'm a lousy tipper if I get lousy service. You know what? The food could taste like dog food. I'm not saying that because Lily's down here. She might take offense. It could taste like garbage, okay? But if the waitress or waiter was there, they were responsive, they kept me informed. If my meal took an hour to make, but they came out and they said, look, we've had some problems in the kitchen. Things are taking longer than that. Let me get you another drink. Let me bring you some more rolls, whatever. That kind of interaction. Then they're not to blame. And they're doing their job, and they're doing a great job. They get paid, they'll get tipped well, regardless of the meal, okay? The meal and the service are two separate items. I can't change the price of the meal, but I can change what I tip. And if I've gotten great service, I don't care what the food tastes like. If I got great service, I'm going to let the waitress know or waiter know. And I think most of the people I know are the same way. So I guess when you say old, how old is old? You know, I'm 64. Ben says, Claremont is a breeze going down 27. We don't use the turnpike for Costco runs. Yeah, 27 to 50. Yeah, I've made that run a few times myself. Yeah, Becky says, food is not the server's fault. And when there's a problem with the food, you don't take it out on the waiter or waitress. You call for the manager. Ask them, would you eat this? It's amazing how many times they'll say, well, no. Well, why would you serve it to me? But no, I don't blame the wait staff for the quality of the food, but as long as they keep me informed that, hey, you know, they ran out of eggs, they had to run down and buy 50 dozen eggs from Publix or whatever. Okay, it is what it is. I mean, you can't help it sometimes. Oh, wow, look at this. We are coming right up on 4 o'clock. Let's see, what else did I have on my list? We talked about Unit 162. We talked about What about the new Walmart? What do you guys think about the progress on it? It's like it hit a brick wall. At least that's what it looks like. And it just seems to have slowed to a crawl. I mean, I go by there 4 or 5 times a day sometimes, and it's like, all right, you guys started out fast, you were running, and then it looks like you tripped and fell. But Costco is definitely going to beat them to the punch. I'm thinking October, maybe November for Walmart, which, you know, I'm hoping longer, because when Debbie has to drive a long way, she doesn't like to drive a long way. So she doesn't go to Walmart much. It is a good thing. Saves me some money. What's on the grill today, Don? Well, I have been without a truck for 3 or 4 weeks now. 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks since I sold my white truck. And I ran out of propane. I don't like carrying the propane bottle in my wife's car. And I'm certainly not strapping it on the back end of the motorcycle to get it refilled. So the grill is out of gas, so tonight is spaghetti. Not bad, but what's this? UGG 47, high wind, rain today. Becky, where are you at? 47 degrees. All right. Ben says, any word on which grocery store will be in Eastport? Several months ago, I was told without a doubt it was Publix. I've been hearing conflicting information since then, saying that the lot's too small. It's not going to be there. You know, again, that's what I had originally heard was Publix. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will definitely take credit for being wrong. Just don't tell my wife I was wrong. I'll never hear the end of it. All right. In general, not specific. Okay. Let's see. Montana. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Montana. No, sorry. It's beautiful country up there. I have been through Montana on a motorcycle. It was one of the best trips of my life on the bike, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, just not in the wintertime. I'm sorry, but wow, do you guys get it cold up there. Any word on stores planned on 470? So I'm assuming you're talking about the new shopping center right there by Station 48. I have not heard anything. I actually had a call, not a call, but a message, a text message, several text messages from an individual who lives in Middleton who saw the broadcast, started asking about that. I directed him to basically the builders to try and find out any word, because they were looking to open a business there. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see what goes in there, because those stores are really large. I think the smallest one is 8,000 square feet, and then there's some 20,000 square feet, and we'll call it the anchor, the big store in the middle, is 55,000 square feet. That's a big store, okay? And then there's 4 out parcels. So what I see for those out parcels is another banker's row. I mean, goodness knows, we don't have enough bankers rows here in the villages. I mean, there's one up on 27441. Of course, 466 has one. 466A has one out by Pinellas Plaza. Lake Deaton Plaza, I think, has got like 6 banks there right now. So we've only got 2 in the south end. We've got 2 Citizens First banks, one in Eastport, one in Middleton, and no other banks. So we need like 5 more banks, right? I mean, I'm just having a blast here. Sorry. Uh, we had 87 last week. Wow. So 87 last week, 47 this week. No, I'm sorry. I'm living in Florida for a reason. I mean, I lived in Idaho back in the early 80s, and I can remember watching it snow July 4th weekend. Pass. I don't want to see it again. All right. Penny. Oh, hey, Penny. Long time since I heard from you. Any chance for a Trader Joe's, Chick-fil-A, or Chicken Salad Chick coming to us in Wildwood or south of 44? There's always a possibility. There's always a chance. Yeah. You know, the best thing I can tell you is reach out to the corporate offices and tell them, hey, you need to look here in the villages, this new area needs stores. You're a great fit. I know that commercial property development is constantly reaching out to different store chains all the time, looking to get people here. You know, it's a tough market, though. You have to understand what's different about our market. Okay, one, the age demographic. Okay, the average age is what, 67, 68 years old? I feel young, so we don't buy as much stuff as a young family does. Okay, so there's that aspect. We're more into services and going out to eat and things like that. So trying, you know, being the target age demographic for a business is important, and we're not for many businesses. The other thing that's very difficult for businesses to deal with, and I spoke with Fred Carmapor about this when I had the show at his restaurant a couple of weeks back. I guess it's been a couple of months now, over at Victory Family Sports Grill. And that cyclic population is very tough. And not every business is set up or willing to endure the boom and bust cycles. And those two factors together make it very difficult to attract, businesses here. But they're working on it. We need Navy Federal in the villages. Yep, I would agree. It would be nice. But you know what? In this day and age, pretty much, you don't really, unless you're depositing cash, you don't need a branch office. You can do most checks now with your cell phone, deposit checks with your cell phone, and do most of your banking on your computer. And I know everybody on here knows how to use a computer because, hey, that's what this is all about, right? Yeah. Let's see. Happy Go Lucky says, I would love to see a village with RV garages. Would be great for folks who want to store their RV on site. I know that there are a couple of houses that do have RV garages in various parts of the villages over in the historical section up in, just to the northwest of the Savannah Recreation Center. There's a large premier home community there, and there's one house there that has a big RV garage. I know I got to meet the individual. It's a long story, but he has an RV garage. Let's see. No place like Florida, Don. I'm too old to be cold. Glad you're having a happy day. Yeah, every day is a good day. I got up on the right side of the grass. Roger says, since Citizens is in the middle of being bought, there are unlikely to go in that center. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's unlikely. Let's see. Victoria says, we have had rain, and no sun here. Can't wait to move to the villages. Well, I got news for you. I think it's raining right now. I have to look at my phone, but Heating up water for hot chocolate. Well, you said a magic word for me already. Chocolate. I'm a chocoholic. So yeah. Katrina says, enjoy dinner, Dawn and Mrs. Dawn. Thank you for another great show. Well, thank you. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah, it's 10 after 4. It's probably time to wrap things up. So I do have one last thing. I want to do another live show. Now, I tried to do this back in September on show 33. We were over at Saluki, and I had some equipment problems. Yeah, there was no equipment problems. It was an operator error. I was tinkering with things and, shouldn't have, because I forgot about this one. If you don't know what it does, don't mess with it. Yeah. And I was messing with things, and I screwed up things. But anyway, I want to do another live show. Just curious as to possible turnout. If you're interested in doing one, leave something in not the chat stream, because that's really difficult to review, but leave it on the comments if you would be interested in it. I'm looking probably middle of July, doing a live show, maybe at Saluki, or if I get a big response, might do it over at either Eisenhower or the Zell or one of the other recreation centers. But if you're interested, let me know. I think it's a lot of fun to get out and meet the people. Let's see. Danny says, how often do you ride your Goldwing, Don? A lot lately. I'll tell you what, without a truck, if Debbie has things she wants to do, I'm either in the golf cart or on the motorcycle. I've put 1,000 miles on the motorcycle in the last month. So, and that's just riding around town. I haven't been on any big trips or anything. Megan says Bridgeport. Okay. Not sure what you're asking about Bridgeport. They use Bridgeport, Bridgeport at Lake Sumter, Bridgeport at whatever around here. But yeah, it's a premier community up in there. That's what you're talking about. We were talking about the RV homes. Have to rewind to the beginning. Okay. Saluki would be cool, definitely. Saluki Pool was great. Met some nice people there. Okay, that would be fun. Thanks for answering the questions. Have a great week. See you soon. Yeah, Victoria, like I said, when you and your husband get back down here, give me a call. We'll go back out to lunch again, or drinks, whatever. So yeah, doing a live broadcast. We'll set up some extra cameras, set up some extra microphones, and you'll be able to ask your questions, and everybody gets to see who's asking the question. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great week. I'm going to be in Orlando most of the week on county business, and that's just so thrilling. But it's part of the job. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to call it a day. Look for the positive things. Life is short, and as I said, we're in the fourth quarter of the game. It's time for that 2-minute offense on having fun, and enjoy the life. Don't dwell on the negative stuff, and let's pray for peace in the Middle East, and hopefully all this craziness in Israel and Iraq or Iran, will come to an end very quickly. Thanks everybody for joining me. Have a great day. I'm out of here. Fern Away Mobile Pet Grooming provides professional grooming services right outside your home. Their state-of-the-art mobile grooming salon won't disturb your neighbors with loud noises or smelly fumes, providing a less stressful grooming experience with no more contact with other pets and their germs. With nearly 50 years combined professional grooming experience, Village's residents Eric and Sharon McFarland bring their expertise and full line of competitively priced services to your home. Big dogs or small, they do them all. I trust them with my Sully and Lily, and you can trust them with yours. Fern Away, they're the best mobile groomer in the Villages.